All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the GetGrowing weekly work session with GetOiling. I am Coach Ashley, and we are joined today by founder Greg Kilwine and a special guest who we will introduce to you here shortly. You guys, today, as you're coming in the chat, let us know where you're coming in from. Let us know how much, I don't know, sunnier and warmer it is than where we are. And we're super excited to have you here. For those of you who have never been on one of these sessions before, this is a totally free session that we host weekly for anyone who is growing a business with Young Living. You may or may not have us, GetOiling. If you don't know who we are the premier suite of tools for you to grow your Young Living business online. You can get started with us for as little as $1. And when you do, you are at the beginning stages of building a system that will take you from distributor to diamond and beyond. So in these sessions, we get together and we talk about training and ways that you can actually move the needle in your business, and also share with you opportunities to work more effectively, which is what we're going to talk about today. So hello, Tulsa, Florida, Texas, Ohio, and everybody coming in. I've got some slides to share with you, and we are going to get down to business here in just 2 seconds. So just to do a little bit of housekeeping, you guys, if you have questions, if you came here with tech or business troubles today, if you need some help, if you came here like just somebody please help me, we are here for you. Go ahead and put those questions in the Q&A, and we will be getting to those at the end of this little slide section. We're going to share some really fun information with you guys today. So again, welcome. Today we're going to talk about why you should outsource your member education. How many of you kind of cringe at the idea of like, oh God, what if I, like, that's most of what I do, right? Today we're going to talk about why you should be doing that as a smart business move. First, again, welcome. We're really happy to have you here. We're going to talk about how you can do more of what works to grow your business on a day-to-day basis without adding extra time to the pile. We're going to talk about how you can delight your members with education and information, even if you are brand new to Young Living. And you're going to meet and get to know our newest GetOiling content partner. And then, of course, we're going to take your Q&A. So first, if you got questions, like I mentioned before, add them to the Q&A. We are here to help you. All right, so let me ask you guys a question first. Quick poll. What do you spend most of your time on when working your Young Living business? Leave us a comment. What do you currently spend the vast majority of your time on when you're working on your business? So the hours that you're like, I'm working, what are you doing? Let's see some comments. You guys let us know.
Got training.
Training. Mm-hmm.
Researching what to post, connecting with members and prospects, relationship building.
Okay. So what I hear most often, and I know that there's a lot of you guys who join these calls who are in the know, and you get trained and that kind of thing. But most of us do not spend our time on what is called an IPA, an income producing activity. Most of us spend the majority of our time on other things. So how many of you guys feel like you're really confident in knowing exactly what an IPA is? Quick show of hands. How many of you know what an IPA is? All right. So not a lot of you, but a fair number of you. So there's really only a couple of activities, four things that fit into what actual IPAs are in this business. All right. Inviting people to review information who could potentially become a Young Living member. Sharing information on Young Living so that person could become a Young Living member. Closing, meaning getting them started as a Young Living member, and then duplicating those first three. Those are the income producing activities. They are the things that specifically, directly move a prospect toward membership and then repeating, right? Getting more of their people and so on and so forth. These are the only IPAs, uppercase IPAs. So what most of us find ourselves spending our time on, an exorbitant amount of time on, is what we call an IPA with a lowercase p. right? It's a lowercase p because, okay, sure, it's still technically an IPA, right? But it's an income preserving activity. That lowercase p is income preserving. And this is valuable. It's valuable to preserve what you have. But if you're spending all of your time preserving what you have, are you actually doing things to continue to grow? If you only focus on what you have, how are you going to create more? Right? So what is a lowercase IPA, an income preserving activity? This falls into member education, outreach, newsletters, PV promos, and just posting generally, right? So I'm not, and again, I mean, even if you're posting in the interest of generating leads, that is not direct, right? So the direct things, which is literally inviting a person one-to-one and like personally, sharing with that person one-to-one personally, closing that person one-to-one personally, and then duplicating. Those are the uppercase IPAs. Those are the things that make you money. That is what that term means. These are the things that you do need to have happening in your business, but it's the thing that we wind up spending too much of our time on, and thus we get stuck, right? So most of us spend that majority of the time on the lowercase p, and this is why we plateau or never truly take off in our business. This is where we get into management mode. And so many of us get into management mode, like around, I don't know, silver or executive. And we wonder why we stay stuck at these ranks for so long. It's because we are focusing on the lowercase p and we're not going out and growing, and our team is duplicating what we're doing. That makes sense? How many of you see that? Do you see that happening on your own team, in your business, right? This is something that it's a trap, right? So we're going to talk to you today about how you can get out of that trap. So even if you absolutely love teaching, and I know like the majority of you who are here today probably really, really love teaching. Even if you love it, your business will not grow without a focus on the income producing activities. But what about your members, right? And this is where the love of teaching comes in. This is where the plateau happens, and it's out of a good heart, right? You have good intentions when you reach this place because you want to love on your people, and of course you want to keep your people around, right? So let's talk about this a little bit. First, I want you to adopt, if you want to move the needle with your IPAs, if you want to get more IPAs going in your business, there's a handful of things that you need to address first. First is you need to be protective of your profitable working hours, meaning you need to be very specific about this is how many people I am going to individually invite to review information this week, right? This is how many people I'm going to sit down and give a presentation to this week, or to get them started this week in whatever way you're going about getting people exposed. You need to make sure that you're blocking off that time that is specifically and only for the IPAs, because the uppercase IPAs, because the lowercase IPAs can become a complete rabbit hole, right? Of researching images and products and all that kind of stuff, right? So be protective of your working hours and don't do the lowercase p in the uppercase p time. All right. Another thing that's really important is cultivate an abundance mindset. A lot of us can kind of get into a zone and be like, well, I've got to go and serve my people. You're always going to serve your people. You're in this. And if you're successful at this at any level, you are successful because you are in service to your people. Being also in service to getting more people into that pile, like into that group, into that community, into that tribe, is good for everybody. And obviously it's good for your business, right? So cultivate an abundance mindset and don't just pour all of your focus into what you've got right now, right? Find a way to serve them while also serving the continued growth. All right. Also, invest in smart systems, like now. Whether you are a distributor today or a diamond today, invest in smart systems now to automate more of your outreach, right? This is why we do so many of these trainings on using GetOiling to get people to opt in so that they can get educated on things, right? So you can, have a text that goes out that people who are ready to respond to it will respond to it. And now those are the people that you're going to talk to. Does that make sense? So having smart systems so that you are not one-to-one chasing every single interaction you need to have in your business is the smart thing to do. And then make your education a more passive activity, meaning you do not become the end-all wellspring resource of information. Point to information from qualified people who are not you. It's the more profitable thing to do. It's the more duplicable thing to do. While you may love being an educator, it is not a thing that's going to move the needle for you. So if you have big rank goals, understand that your focus does need to shift out of being an active educator. This is a really important thing as well, duplicating in your business. So starting with you and having your teammates do this as well, duplicate a one-to-one tracked, meaning put this in your contact manager under the contact you have the call with, consultative monthly check-in with your frontline, right? So instead of just, being, again, the encyclopedia of oils for everyone in your organization, make a point to have a quick appointment call with your frontline every month. And when you're doing so, you have a specific objective that you're addressing, and you are then pointing them toward a resource, right? And now you've got a goal to address the next time you talk the next month, and you can introduce them to a new product if they have a new goal. Make sense? If you can systematize that, it will take up a lot less of your time. I think a lot of us spend a lot of time trying to drag people to where we are when they aren't ready. You need to know, you need to believe that there are enough people who are ready right now who are waiting to hear from you. And the people who are with you right now who maybe aren't that ready, they'll get there or they won't. But that shouldn't stop you from going out and expanding your reach and your impact. All right. Finally, guys, leave the pretty pictures and the education to the experts. There are things you should be outsourcing in your business, even if you are just getting started. And I would argue, especially if you're just getting started. It's really easy to fall into the trap of becoming an encyclopedia as a distributor for this company. And it's really important that you don't fall into that trap, or you get yourself out of it quickly, because it's going to keep you from growing. So let's talk about outsourcing. This is a big reason why we are here today, the reason why we're here today. We're going to talk about outsourcing with Amanda Erickson of Wild Customer Delight. Those of you who are in Go for Gold may know Amanda already, but for those of you who don't know, let's get to know Amanda and Wild Customer Delight and what you're doing for distributors.
Hey guys. Hi, Coach Ashley. Hey, Greg.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about what you're offering, what you're doing with Wild Customer Delight, kind of, just give us a little backstory here.
Yeah. Okay. So the backstory is that before I ever did Young Living, I was a graphic designer and I loved it. It's for me, doing graphic design work was and still is very life-giving. It's one of those things that, yes, it was work, but I took so much fulfillment and enjoyment from it that I loved doing it. And I loved it so much that 10 years ago, when I got started with Young Living, as a customer, I had zero interest in the business because I had so much fulfillment in what I was doing with graphic design. And how I ended up getting into wanting to do the Young Living business and the freedom that I would have. It was really time freedom that I wanted. That's kind of another story. But when I did start doing the business, because I had been a graphic designer, because I had the eye of what my own personal aesthetic was, like there were a lot of times I would find images online and I'd be like, oh, this would be perfect if, or, oh, this would look so great if I could just fix this one thing. And so I would, for my own team, which you're not really supposed to do this, but I would see somebody else's graphic and I would be like, okay, I'm just going to tweak this one thing and post it in my Facebook group so it looks like the way I want it to. I was not sharing that publicly. Like, don't do that. You were not supposed to do that. But if there was something I didn't like, I would do my best to fix it. And so after a while, I was like, why don't I just take the time to educate my team on my terms, the way that I want to. I want to love on them. I want it to look like it's coming from me and authentic. And my husband and I, we practice peaceful parenting, and we have this mantra, like, connect before you correct. And in business, I kind of have the same idea, like connect before you collect, right? We have to connect on a personal, individual, like heart to heart way with our potential customers and with our current customers before we really have the right to ask them to keep spending more money with us. And so I came up with a system for my team of how I was going to love on them really, really well, and connect with them before I asked them to keep, spending more money with me. And it started out with this right here, the monthly drop. It was originally designed to be printed. I mailed it when I started, I mailed it to my entire downline. Every single month, I would write a handwritten note about, I hope you and your kids are feeling better, or your pictures from your summer vacation looked amazing. And it was very time intensive, I will tell you that, but it really established a really good relationship with my downline by taking the time to invest in just touching them in a personal way. Now my organization is too big for me to send it to my whole downline. I give it to my leaders, and if they want to print it, they can, or we send it digitally now with a link for them to access it online. But the monthly drop is a 4-page newsletter. It always has a diffuser blend on the front page, and the monthly promos are also on the front page. I partnered with a couple of ladies from Canada, and they've been helping me get it ready. This is our second month to have the monthly drop available for Canadian market. So I'm really excited about that. It does take a couple of days to get that at the beginning of the month. It takes a couple of days to get that finished. It's a little slower process, but I'm very excited about that. And then the other thing that the monthly drop has, which I've gotten just fabulous feedback on, is that I have usually, this month is actually the first time in probably 2 years that I haven't, but I normally have a shopping guide. And so I'll have like a little section in the monthly drop that is education about, like maybe hormone health. And then on the shopping guide, which is divided by like the different PV promo levels. So like maybe at the 100 level, it would be like, if you're wanting to work on, hormone health, here's a shopping guide of what might be beneficial if you're working on your hormones and how to meet the 100 PV level. And then I go all the way down on the months that we have a 400 PV promo. Like I fill that up, and I've gotten just some great feedback on that. And what that's done is it's helped people see, like in front of their eyes, like, wow, spending $300 with Young Living, that's a lot of money. But then they can look at this list that takes up half a page of, wow, if I spend $300, look at how much I'm getting, and it's going to come into my home, and it's going to replace things that I'm already using. So I like the shopping guide. That was actually a request that one of my Diamond customers asked me to add in. She was like, can we put in a shopping guide for them? And I was like, that's a little bold, don't you think? Like, please spend your money, and here's how to spend it. And she's like, I think they need to see how much value they're getting. And I was like, well, let's try it. And then we got really good feedback. And so we've just kept it in for 2 years now.
That's amazing. So just, if we could kind of list off, right? Like you have a monthly content subscription.
Yes.
What are the things that, just sort of top level you provide on a monthly basis to your distributor members?
Yeah. Okay. So the first is a monthly drop, 4-page newsletter. You can send it digitally or print it. Next is a weekly text campaign called the Weekly Drop. There's generally going to be 4 or 5 campaigns, or texts and scripts in one monthly campaign. I don't think I sent you an image for it, Ashley. I do think I forgot to send you that image. I don't remember. Anyways, so basically it's a graphic and a script that you can totally customize the way you make it have your voice, make it sound like it's coming from you and not from me. But the weekly drops are, they are not specific to one topic. Okay. So like, for example, last week we sent out education on allergicide, and the text said something like, hey, I've had a lot of people asking me lately about, what to do during pollen season. And I just wanted to share with you, like, allergicide has been a game changer for me and for my family. And this is paraphrasing. I don't have it memorized. I plugged it in and sent it. I haven't thought about it since the beginning of the month, but I try and keep it chatty. I let them know, like, people are asking me about this. That helps them know you can ask me questions. That's okay. And also it's been big for us. And then I asked them, like, what are you using for pollen season that's working for you?
Wow. So is this a text? So you're giving them like a text script and an image, but
Yes.
it's designed to get them to respond, right?
It is designed for engagement. It is designed and not every single week, but most weeks there's going to be a question at the end that's like, hey, what are you doing that's working for you? Or like this week it was like, hey, so are you like a spring cleaning type of person or no? Because if you are, I might have some questions for you,
Mm-hmm.
And I the spring cleaning question got so many responses on my team. I was like, oh, well, I have friends that are a little more into consistently doing cleaning throughout the year and giving up spring cleaning. But it helps me know my team better,
Yeah.
And somebody texted me back yesterday, and she was like, "Oh, I want you to know that Thieves Cleaner will totally get grape Kool-Aid out of the carpet." And I was like, hey, I'm glad to know this. I'm totally going to take that and use it as content in my group in a couple of days.
And now you know. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
We do have the email campaigns. So the email campaigns are, those are topic specific. So every month there's a broad general topic that I educate. It's kind of like a class that I send through email. This works for my team to send it through email. They know every Monday they're going to get an email from me, and every Wednesday they're going to get a text from me. And for my customers who email doesn't, like, that's not their thing, it's kind of maybe going away for some demographics, the content is available and it can be used as, a Facebook class or a texting class as well. For me, I send it out as an email, and we will cover sort of a broad topic. So this month it is about spring cleaning and cleaning. It's actually natural cleaning hacks is what we're focusing on this month. Ashley had talked about sort of outsourcing the education and pointing people to other experts that we trust and that we know that they're going to steer our customers in the right direction. And that's what we do in the weekly emails. It always includes a video from Young Living's YouTube page, maybe Jen O'Sullivan, Lindsay Elmore, Dr. Jim Bob. These are leaders in the Young Living community that are just trustworthy. And they themselves are great educators. They're able to communicate in a concise way. And then I also will include usually a podcast from the Revolution Oils podcast, Samantha Lee Wright, or maybe Jen O'Sullivan's podcast, or Young Living's. So I have something for them to watch, something for them to listen to, and then something for them to read or enjoy, which would be like a fun recipe that's related to, to our topic. And that comes from Young Living, usually from Young Living's blog. And it just kind of is like, hey, Young Living's blog is there for you. It's an amazing resource. I want you to get it in front of your face and, in front of your eyes, every week or every other week, because there's some, it's a treasure of resources there. And so I just kind of point them, and it's in another casual and kind of chatty way. And then I have my own education at the bottom, where like this month we're sharing the natural cleaning hacks, and I just share a recipe and, hey, did you know you can use Thieves Cleaner, or I think it was Thieves Fruit and Veggie Wash to clean your rings. Okay. Like that's pretty cool. And you just need a little tiny bit and it gets your rings clean. And it's surprising, there's a little bit of a, wait, what? I want to know about this. And
that's
then,
amazing.
Yeah. So we have fun. Like I get responses on my emails, which is crazy because you really hear a lot that emails are kind of going out. Like it's not the preferred way of communication anymore, but I'll get emails in response, and it's fun. And I also really like to use emails because I do have, older generation in my, older demographic in my downline, and they are a little more proficient with email than with texting. And I feel like it helps them feel comfortable and like they're still important and relevant, and like they've told me they're thankful that I communicate with them over email, because they don't like the texting is just hard for them still. So
yeah, that's, the interesting thing is that texting is trendy. It does have great open rates, but email is still king in the world of digital marketing. Period. End of story. So people will still read it. So you have email campaigns.
Yes. And one thing on not being king is you do have to have a great subject line, which I have a subject line for you guys, that it's like, hey, this is the subject line that I'm using. And so like, if you're one of those people that you're like, I love the content, but I don't want to just like say like, hey, happy Monday, here's your natural hack, like I've got a subject line you guys are welcome to use or tweak,
Beautiful. So,
Yeah.
so what it sounds like is that you have a curated sort of entire thought out bundle for the week, the month?
For the whole month. Yeah.
For the whole month,
Yeah.
including dripping on them additional information from other sources, trusted sources.
Yeah.
So guys, for those of you who spend a ton of time researching and trying to figure out, oh, well, what can I get out to my members this week? How can I engage my members this week? You're not only getting pretty pictures and class type stuff from Amanda, you're getting just the whole, here's what you send to your people all month. Now you can go do your IPA stuff. Right?
Yes. Yeah. And too, you talked about research. So the last part of the YL Customer Delight bundle is the monthly promo education, which you guys, like, it's really challenging for those of us who have been in Young Living for several years to not have the freedom to say things that we want to say. And so what we do with the promo education is I provide a graphic for each of the oils or products, but then I go and I research how these oils were used historically as herbs in tinctures and teas, because we can talk about the historical use of these plants, right? And we can talk about how geranium petals were used, as tinctures or made into soothing baths and what those were used for. We can't talk about what the oil is used for now, but we have the freedom to talk about their historical use, not in oil form. So that's been really helpful to educate my team on, like, hey, there's some powerful historical evidence for these aromatic plants that have been used throughout history across so many cultures. Here's how they have been used. And I don't make any claims. Like, I don't say, and you can put geranium petals in your bath water, anything like that. I just say, this is how it's historically been used, and let them draw their own conclusions and make their own decisions. And also maybe pique their interest to start doing their own research more, to be like, oh, wait, if this was used for cuts and scrapes, as a tincture or a salve in, 300, 800, 1,000 years ago, I wonder, what if I type in this oil and find out what it might be good for now, So it kind of piques their curiosity, and it provides really sound education for them, while being compliant. And I will say that research takes time. Like, that takes a lot of time, and I've done the work for you. I do the work for you every month, and it helps me learn more about the oils too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So this is just really kind of like the perfect shortcut for you guys. I mean, to obviously educate yourselves too, because Amanda is chief researcher here. Are you a green personality, Amanda?
Nope, but I'm married to a green. I'm married to a solid green. Yeah, he's rubbed off on me. I had to prove a lot of things to him at the beginning, so I learned how.
I love it. So basically, you guys, you've got a shortcut here for really kind of, thematically approaching your own education, and then not having to think about, like, for those of you who don't feel like you're particularly creative, or if you are just someone who understands that you got to get out there and share to grow your business, to have all of this stuff already planned out and worked out for you. And so when people get started, you can go to, Greg, do we have a pretty link, or actually you've got your URL set up,
there's a couple options. I think GetOiling.com/YL Customer Delight. And then, Amanda, I think you set up YLCustomerDelight.com. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So YLCustomerDelight.com.
Yeah.
And
there's a video there that you guys can take a look at. And, if you want to get a little closer look than on the screen here.
It's also on GetOiling.com right now too. So just scroll down to the partner section. It is on there
front page
as well.
Okay, awesome.
Yep. So you've actually got a promo in place for GetOiling customers. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So I would love for you guys, if you want to give it a try for $1 for try it for $1. I mean, that's what GetOiling does. So I think that's an awesome thing to model. And the code, the coupon code is GetOiling, and you'll get your first month for $1. You can check out all of March's resources and, check them out and see if they're going to be a good fit for you and for your community.
Awesome.
And we have a Facebook group. It is YL Customer Delight. And if you have questions, that's really the best way to kind of come in, and I'll troubleshoot with you there and help answer questions there. And I have some really longtime customers in there. They've been with me from the very, very beginning. They just heard about me and they kind of hopped on board like 2.5 years ago. And they know so many things now that they can answer questions too.
Fantastic. Hey,
Yeah.
if there's anyone here in the chat right now who is a part of Wild Customer Delight, let us know how much you love it and what it's done for you and your business. Definitely let us know in the chat over there. So how much is it after the first month?
Yeah, so it's $15 a month, and and that'll get you all of the resources. It's really a whole month's worth of education and touching and loving on your customers for $15 a month.
And you have share codes that will populate this information
I
directly into
do.
GetOiling, right?
Directly into GetOiling. I've set it all up. Everything for March is ready to go. So if you're already a GetOiling customer, you can just get the bundle sharing code and it'll plug right in. And if you're new to GetOiling, I created a couple of tutorial videos for you. So if you're not really sure yet or you're not confident in it yet, you can follow those tutorials as well. And I really want to try and make it as easy for people as possible to jump in and educate and love on their team, and to be able to do it with just confidence and grace and not take away time from their family and the other important parts of their business.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, let me show you guys real quick. I'm going to go over to show you what this website looks like here. She actually has this set up in a GetOiling member area.
I do, yes.
So go over here, wildcustomerdelight.com, and you can watch the video, learn more about what you'll get. And then, of course, if you come over here and put GetOiling in as your coupon code, you'll get $1 first month trial. And awesome. Well, so I know we had a couple of questions come in the Q&A, and there's a bunch that I haven't been able to keep up with in the chat. Does anybody have any questions that we can maybe address verbally?
Yeah, I think one of the questions that's come up here a couple times is this for the US market only? And then there was another question, is this for the Canadian market only? So
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, sorry we weren't clear on that, you guys. Okay, so the monthly drop is available in the U.S. market and the Canadian, the Canadian market. They're two different documents, and then I provide the graphics and the education for the monthly promos for the U.S. market, but the graphics only for the Canadian market. I don't have that much access to the Canadian market and what can be said, what claims can be made and can't be made, and how y'all word it to be able to create the education on those yet. But I do have the graphics available for you. And then so far, the text campaigns, between like the text campaigns and the email campaigns, all of my Canadian customers have been able to, if there was a text campaign that they didn't have in their market in Canada, they were able to swap it for something that was maybe in an email or a different product somewhere. They would use the promo from that month. So it is available for both markets. The individual products that are provided for both are the monthly drop and then the graphics for the promos.
Okay. Awesome. Do we have any more questions? I think there's one thing that I had thought I was going to say this when I still had all the slides up. But for those of you who have been tuning in over the last few months, we are steadily bringing in more amazing content providers like Amanda to our platform. And I know that there's probably some questions that have been asked today. How is this different from insert other provider here? And guys, at the end of the day, every provider that's working in this space is providing a very, very reasonably priced option for amazing value and gorgeous, great stuff. I would encourage you to try them all and really just ask yourself, like, does this fit my voice? Do I feel like in resonance with this? And just go with it, right? So, and I really like, Amanda, that yours is set up in such a way that people can kind of edit it to their voice. Yeah.
I think it's important that it sounds like it's coming from you, from me, and not just copy and pasting, somebody else's personality. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because when people get stuff from you, they know your voice, right?
Right.
They
Yes.
know you personally. Yeah. Awesome. So what other kind of questions do we have? Sorry.
Yeah, we got a great question here about the different content and the different schedules. So the question was, so would you send both the weekly and the monthly to one person? How are those designed to work together?
So yeah, that's a really great question. And this is something that like you get to do what you know is going to work for you and your family and the time that you commit and for your team. All of it is designed to be able to be sent to my whole downline. So my customers, my Young Living team is going to get the monthly drop from me, the newsletter once a month. They're going to get an email on Mondays and they're going to get a text on Wednesdays. And then anything else that kind of flows out of that is just going to be naturally responding to text or answering questions in the Facebook group, calling them to check on them. I mean, you guys know some of Martha's ideas and plans and other leaders and how important it is to really touch them and love on them in multiple ways. But yeah, it is definitely set up that you can use as much or as little of it as you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And I did want to say too, on the weekly text campaign. So like I will usually have an alternate campaign to send out. So like when I sent out back in the fall, we had information on like oils and pregnancy, or I don't remember what it was, but it was related specifically to pregnancy. And I had an alternate campaign available because I think that when we know our team well and we know that there's maybe families that are dealing with infertility, or you're sending a campaign to a generation who's not looking to get pregnant or is not going to be pregnant, I think it really, they don't know that we made the conscious choice to love them well and serve them well that way. But I think that taking the time to do that and to know them that well is going to, it's going to pay off in the long run, because they know you're not just sending me information that just plain always goes out to everybody, because they're going to realize at some point in time, she doesn't send me the information about pregnancy or whatever. So and I think that helps us. It challenges us to grow out of our comfort zone and get to know our team members well, and to ask the questions about who they are and what's important to them and what their goals are. So I did want to offer that as well. And then at Christmas time as well, I always have an alternate campaign, because not everybody celebrates Christmas. And if we know that, we can love them well and not send them a "Hey, Merry Christmas" campaign. We can send them, I hope you have a warm gathering with your family this year,
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome. We've got some love for you over here in the chat. There was a drop here mentioned that you sometimes will even provide things like Instagram stories, just like a little bonus for your members, right?
Yeah. And those extra bonuses are generally intended to sort of be for piquing the interest of people who are not yet members. They're always kind of education for prospects, really. And those are fun to send out, and they're pretty.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Vera says, I'll be 70 next month, and Amanda has made it so easy for me to keep in touch with my team. Even I can use what she provides.
Awesome.
That's great. That's great.
That's my mama.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It's because of her that my own resources ever even became available for anybody else, because she saw them and was like, well, I would like to use these. And some of her team members and some of her crossline friends saw them. So it's totally because of her.
Oh, that's so cool.
Because when I started, it was truly just like, well, I just want to do this for my team. I didn't see it going beyond that at all. So,
So you could go to getoiling.com/YL Customer Delight, or go to ylcustomerdelight.com. Use the code GetOiling to get $1 first month. For those of you who are just popping on.
Diane asked if we can get access to the older content. Yes, that is something I am working on, Diane. I have to just get it all formatted and set up in GetOiling and get that available. But setting it up in archives, it is in the process and it is in the plan, and I've got designated time to do that. Yes.
Fantastic. Marissa, if you use another platform, I think that you actually... So you have content inside of this, when you go to that website, you have content that can plug in and work in GetOiling right away, but you have content for project broadcasts that you've been using a while too, right?
Right. Yes.
Right.
And
you provide both options for
they
people
are.
who use both.
Yep, absolutely. And then also if they're not using Project Broadcast or GetOiling, the graphics and the script are just on the website that you can just copy and paste and send it the way that works for you. Yeah.
Right.
And then the emails
Awesome.
are available in MailChimp templates as well.
Awesome. Yeah. Can't recommend enough, you guys, having a centralized resource like this with the content that plugs into a centralized business machine like GetOiling. So that way you're not having to jump around to 7 different platforms, pulling stuff from 12 different places. You got it all right there. You know who saw what, you know who opened what, you know who received what, and it's all in one house. So awesome. We had, there was a question about help with creating a logo. I don't know if this is it's not something that comes with the service. But,
No.
no, sorry. Sorry, but
I love doing that, but I have to say no to that. So I still have to focus on my Young Living business. Yeah.
If you're trying to get a logo done, and you don't feel particularly creative or or just solid in doing something like that for yourself, Fiverr.com, you guys,
Yep.
Fiverr.com.
Yep.
$5.
Yep.
Make you a logo. All right. Tabitha says, yes, needed this one-stop shop setup and putting pieces together for years and spinning my wheels. Yes. How much time does it take to have to research and then publish or try to write enough and then totally just sit and wonder whether or not you did it right, said it right, linked it right, whatever. It's all ready to go. So, what was the logo site again? Fiverr, Fiverr.com. It's just a place where you can go to outsource all kinds of stuff. That's, things that, unless you want to become a graphic designer, like why would you go and learn Photoshop today?
Right.
All right. Do you have a new member campaign?
I don't. No.
Okay.
I would
recommend on, like the monthly.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Martha has the Go for Gold has a new member campaign that's already plugged into GetOiling though, with some amazing training from Coach Ashley on how to customize it. So
so definitely. And the thing is, guys, Amanda is a part of the community with Go for Gold as well. Like, what she's talking about here, this is really a function. The reason why it's called Wild Customer Delight is that this is really member centric, right? This is very much about being able to have that time focus on the profitable activities and building your business while not dropping the ball and really still loving on your people and giving them what they need. Right. Because at the end of the day, success, some will say, is a numbers game. We are way too yellow a community, to look at things that way. Right. But it's okay. It's okay to take the heavy lifting of that and give it to someone who knows what they're doing. Your people are still going to be in great hands. Yeah. So awesome. Canva is a recommendation from Kendra if you want to make your own logos. That's good. If you have GetOiling, you don't need MailChimp. That is correct.
That is correct.
If you have and also don't use MailChimp. Don't use MailChimp. They look at their policies and procedures. You are with a network marketing company. They are against that. Yeah. They
have been tightening the reins on that for the last several years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you're with us, you literally don't need anything but the VO and maybe oily tools to calculate your commissions and all that kind of stuff. You don't need Project Broadcast anymore because we have texting and it's connected to our CRM. You don't need anything else. Yeah. All under one roof. And definitely make sure if you're trying to use another provider's stuff, understand that a lot of online platforms, guys, including Facebook, do not like network marketing. So just be really careful about where you pour in your time and resources for sure. All right. So thank you for being here. You guys, ylcustomerdelight.com. You can also go to the GetOiling website, scroll down, and you're going to see a link there. Use the code GetOiling for your $1 trial. Let's see. Oh, Tabitha. Okay. No, if you use Calendly, keep Calendly. Yeah, that's great. And congratulations for having a booking link. Yes, that is one thing that we don't have. That's on a wish list. We'll get there. Greg only has so many arms.
I've been trying to grow more, but it's probably not a good idea.
Probably not. I don't know if Amanda would love that. No, she's good. So you guys, if you have any questions, whether they are for Amanda here with YL Customer Delight, if they're for us with GetOiling, if you have any tech questions, definitely send them our way. Let us know. And we're here to help. Amanda, do you feel like you get any like specific kind of feedback, like just from folks who are using your tools? Like if you were to say like the number one benefit that you hear back from people that are using your stuff, what would you say it is?
Well, the number one benefit is saving time. Every month, like when the content goes live, they are always like, thank you so much. You saved me so much time again, and that is important. I mean, time is very, very valuable. And, but I love hearing back. Like I asked some of my members yesterday, like, hey, what kind of feedback could you share with me? And they were like, I've been in it for 10 days and I've already got 2 people on ER, just from connecting with them. And or on it. By that, I mean, they've been my customer. They've been using Wild Customer Delight for 10 days. And like, that's amazing. We are changing people's lives on so many different multiple levels, and to get to be a part of that is exciting. I have one customer that when she sent me an email after her first month, and she was like, I've never seen an OGV jump like I have in the last month.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, well, I mean, that's amazing. And I asked her about it, and she's like, I think it's really just because I'm really able to connect with them. And like, they know that I'm sending them education. They know that, like, it's obviously education, but because there's some heart behind it, like they want to engage, like they are prompted to, and they're willing and eager to engage. And that propels conversation to how to really help them, in ways that are way more specific than what you would be able to outsource. Right.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Tabitha says, being a red personality, these tools are the bomb for me. I want to be prospecting and closing. Yes, I see you, Red. Yes. Let's see. How do you add this with your GetOiling? No big deal, Karen. It's okay if you came late. Just like is the case with any of our content providers, there's going to be a link that you can click, or a code that you can paste into the resource sharing area of your GetOiling site that will automatically pop the campaign in, that will pop the newsletter in, whether it's text or email campaign, all that kind of good stuff. And then of course you have a Facebook group as well where you get that support.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
With videos even.
Yeah. So Karen, I had to go through and learn how to do all of this. And so I have a couple of videos on there. Like if you're using the monthly email or the weekly emails, like here's how you're going to get them into your account, and then how you're going to take them and send them to your contacts. So there's a video there for you to help with that.
Awesome. All right. Well, you guys, if you don't have any more questions, let's see. She says, so easy. Thank you. Yes. Easy and fast, and saving you tons of time so you can get out there and grow your business. Yeah. Maybe let's just do a quick last call for questions, guys. If you have anything that you need help with, any questions that you have, go to wildcustomerdelight.com and get started with the code GetOiling. Let's see, where on GetOiling is the partner section? If you go to getoiling.com and you scroll down, the section says partners. Let's see, if I need support, where do I go? We specifically for this, where would people go for support with Wild Customer Delight?
Okay, yeah. So my Facebook group is Wild Customer Delight. It's actually linked in the email that you'll get when you sign up. I have a direct link to it, so you can come and join. And that's really the best place to get support. I will, whether I'm at home or not, I'm going to see it. And then I have a couple of cross-line friends that help me out with answers if they see that I don't jump on right away. And so yeah, that's the best spot. Yay for Facebook. I mean, I know there's some things about it, but it can be a really helpful place to get answers quickly. Absolutely.
All right. Fantastic. So again, thank you so much, Amanda, for making this available to our members. And we're really excited to hear the stories of you guys saving tons of time, getting your people onto ER, and, just getting it done in your business by outsourcing the stuff that takes the most time. Awesome. Everybody's, they're loving it. Looking forward to trying it out.
I'm so excited.
Yes. All right.
All right, guys.
Thanks again, all of you, for being here, for being a part of this community. If you have anything that you would like to learn about, if there's something you're struggling with in your business, please send us an email, info@getoiling.com, and we will chat with you on an upcoming weekly work session. And again, we look forward to seeing you all same time, same place next week. And yeah, thanks for being here. You'll have a great week.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you, guys. Bye.